Who was the Minister for Finance at the time? Who was the Accountant General of Government? Who was the Auditor General at the time? Who was the President? And the person who confessed to be in charge of all debt in President Uhuru's regime is President Ruto. In his own words.
What did he say?
He said, and this thing he said during the first Eurobond saga in 2014, barely a year in office. They went and took a Eurobond that only half made it into this country.
Can you contextualize the issue of Eurobond for people who are wondering what is Eurobond and why is it called Eurobond and why did we end up losing because of Eurobond?
So the dynamic duo have just come in power.
Okay.
And there is need to raise money because they are saying taxes are not enough. So they need to borrow some money from America. So they need to amend the law to make sure that the money that is borrowed does not necessarily come into the country through the consolidated fund. Because borrowed money is revenue for government. So it has to come into the consolidated fund. And once it comes into the consolidated fund, the people can oversight the fund. So there is need to be clever and take the money that you borrow into other accounts that the people cannot even see. So Aden Duale, hizi shida tuko nazo zijaanza leo. Aden Duale was then majority leader in parliament. John Mbadi, the expert, was minority. So Aden Duale comes into parliament with a motion, an amendment bill to the Constitution on the Public Finance Management Act. So they say that the money, they introduced clauses that say that when you borrow money, it doesn't have to come through the consolidated fund. And again, you can, like, kama ninakopa pesa, nilipe Jagero. Hiyo pesa inaweza toka kwa account ya mwenye ninakopa kwa account ya Jagero direct, without necessarily coming into the account of the government. And again, we can decide that the pesa yenye mebaki, we can store it elsewhere. We can open a bank account in Dubai and put that money there. It doesn't have to come to the consolidated fund.
Okay, so let's give a specific example.
Yes.
Let's say Joachim owes Odur Jagero 50,000. Okay. But the person who is trying to give Joachim the money to pay Odur Jagero is telling Joachim, I don't need to give you that money in order to give Odur Jagero. We can actually just pay Odur Jagero direct. Okay?
Yes.
All right? And they are also saying, actually, we have 150,000 and we want to pay Jagero his 50. But the remaining 100,000, we can put it somewhere else.
We can open an account for you. And you can put it elsewhere, or you can put it there. You don't have to keep it in your family account.
What is the game?
The game is how to steal without being noticed. So they go and take
the 150.
Yes.
Yeah.
Half of it, 75,000, is used for legit, but you can't find the other 75,000. My party leader, Jimi Wanjigi, is one of the people who are pushing for that very hard. Raila was the face of it, but Jimi Wanjigi was the brain behind finding the numbers. And the report that they were given from the central bank, the treasury, it was redacted. You can't see where money is coming from and where it's going. You can see where it's coming from, but you can't see where it's going. You can see the account, money left the account of Jagero, 560 billion, but where did it go? it's redacted. And that's the time where there was a very big controversy on the first Eurobond. President Ruto was a deputy president at the time. Akasimama akasema, mambo ya deni. I am the deputy president, I am in charge. Ask me. Okay, deputy president. Now, where is the half of the Eurobond? Hii bitina, hii mutu ya kutupa mawe, hii mutu ya kung'oa reli. Sasa ameleta kiserani. You can imagine. That's where the rain started beating us. Kama kuna mahali Kenya ilianza kuenda wrong na public debt is the Eurobond we took in 2014.
Barely, just months after the dynamic duo climbed onto that seat.
Yes. You remember during Kibaki's time, or if you had 50,000 in the bank, the bank could call you and tell you, Odo Jagero, we have seen 50,000 in your bank. Please, come, we can give you a loan of about, we can give you a loan of about 4 times what you have, so that you can go do something with it. Because how do banks raise money? Through loans and interest. So, if you have money just sitting in their bank account, it's not helpful to them. It's good if you come and take a loan and pay it with interest. And banks used to do that. You could leave a church and you see the tent, Equity, KCB, Diamond Trust Bank. They have very beautiful ladies seducing you to take a loan. What happened? What? Because the banks realize that they have a very big customer to lend money to. This customer is called the government.
Wakafieka kila kitu.
So, why should a government, why should a bank lend money to you when they can lend it to the treasury? Between wewe na John Mbadi, who is more trustworthy? Nani anakaa kupewa pesa?
John Mbadi.
Yes. So, kama John Mbadi anaweza enda Diamond Trust Bank na achukue loan at an interest rate of 16%. Based on risk assessment, your risk is higher than John's, right? Which means your interest rate should be higher than what John's got. So you get it at 18% or 20%. It makes it very expensive for you to pay back that loan. So you shun the loans. So the government, by borrowing in the banks, in the internal market, they crowd out the public. And the consequence, therefore, is there is no credit for the private sector to improve their production and business. And therefore, there becomes a reduction of circulation of money within the economy. It reduces disposable income in the pockets of the people, and therefore the private sector stops being productive. So you solely depend on government, even for the basic things. A government should not be a giver of favors. It should be an enabler of development. That wewe kuanzisha hii studio, you don't have to dial 254 and get a Nyota loan for you to begin this. No. That should not be the case. The case should be you can access that loan through the bank at a very cheap rate. So you can take $1 million and after 1 year you pay back with 70,000. No one can fail to do that. But how does a government now control people who have access to money and they can manage their own affairs? People become so hard to control. And that informs why the dynamic duo decided to step on your path.
Ati black chocolate ni fine melanin bana kutoka nikapate. Kanapenda kenye mi wanapenda, so kanapenda toto chupa na haga nono.
Madam na kudai, umedunga mini na unapenda mangwai. Una dance fit, unawacha nikismile. Ama niko high, jua lies nice.
Kono moja mbele, gine yenderembe. Pile up, yoni